Sports, episode 11 here. Today we'll be talking about all the awards because the regular season is coming to an end now. And we're just going to name each award and think who should win each award. So the first award that we'll talk about is the Maurice Rocket Richard. Obviously, there's one guy that really comes to mind. It's Ovechkin. Do you guys think it's Ovi?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Yo.
Yeah. No.
That's
all he does. Score. That's pretty much it.
Had a great plus-minus record.
Yeah. Don't worry, it's about scoring goals.
Solid.
That's what matters. That's what matters for them.
Hey, you never know. Corey Perry can maybe get 8 in the next 2 games. You never know about that.
Maybe Kessel can get another 15. Who knows, too?
Okay, so we all agree with Ovechkin to win the Rocket because he's a friggin' puck hog and all he does is just call for it and shoot, score 50, whatever. So the next award that we'll be talking about is the Jack Adams. There's a lot of different nominees. Who do you guys think is going to win?
It's got to go to Wall.
Yeah.
Last place, last year.
Yeah.
Now they 100 plus points.
He completely turned his team around in just 1 year from last year, what they were. He has to win that.
Yeah, I think you guys are right too, but for me, I go with, you could say Babcock too, you know. He basically coached the Grand Rapids Griffins for the whole season. You know, Datsuk and Zetterberg weren't there for the whole time, and they're in a playoff position now. They clinched, so you could even say him as well.
For me, it's going to be between Hitchcock or Patrick Waugh. You know, Ken Hitchcock's been changing the Blues for quite some time, and they're finally getting credit for the change that they have and the ability they have. So I think it'd be good to see him win it. But even Patrick Waugh is a really good pick because they were last place, get first pick, and now they have a chance of winning the West, practically.
I gotta go with Patrick Waugh, like you said. He came in last year, or they were in the bottom. They got first in the draft. Who knew a first overall pick can really change a team completely? Nate McKinnon, he really changed them for the better. And look at them, now they're fighting for first with the Blues in the Central. But yeah, I think I gotta go with Patrick Waugh overall. It seems like he fits the perfect. He's just in the perfect position. He just fits there. He played in Colorado before. I think he fits with that organization. The next is obviously probably the most obvious answer, the Art Ross, which is awarded to the most points at the end of the year. It's going to go to number 87, Sidney Crosby. What makes him so much better than everyone else, just points-wise?
He's in a league of his own, really. He's been the best since day one.
It's his own league now. It's like, you know, I don't have to score 50 goals like Ovi in order to win the Art Ross or the Hart. Like, he's like, okay, I can give Kunitz 35 goals, I can give you 35 goals, and I'll get 67 assists, and I don't care, because at the end of the year, he's going to have 100 plus points.
Yeah, but he's 20 points ahead of the second place guy. It's not even right.
If he wanted to, he can get 60 goals every year.
Yeah.
He wants to spread the points around.
Smart hockey player.
Man, oh man. Do you think anyone can ever beat him in points? When he's healthy?
I think either Stamkos and Tavares in a couple of years, they're going to be really close.
Yeah, I think Stamkos could have challenged him this year if he was playing for the whole season, but...
Stamkos, 24 in 34 games.
And let's not forget, too, Tavares is still really young. He's going to be a scary player in a couple of years.
Oh, yeah.
Points-wise.
You're telling me. But yes, anyway, Sid for Art Ross, it's pretty obvious. For the Hart Memorial, it's MVP of your team all around. There's different all-around, there were actually a lot of nominations for this one. You have from goaltenders to centermen, you have Ben Bishop for Tampa Bay, Ryan Getzlaf for Anaheim, he's had a stellar season. You have Claude Giroux, who really was in a slump of his own back at the beginning of the year, really. He's now, I think, top 10 in the league in scoring again. Maybe, I think, top 5? Or
yeah.
Top 5, and then obviously you have the favorite, Sidney Crosby. Who do you guys think wins this one?
Yeah, there are a lot of guys who are really important to their team, but at the end of the day, I'm still going to go with Crosby.
Yeah, Crosby.
I'll go with the majority, Sid.
Yep, Sid.
Same, I'm going to go with Sidney Crosby on this one. Obviously, he's the best player in the National Hockey League. Like you said, he's in a league of his own, toppling 20 points over the second leader. That's just nuts. And obviously, they've had injuries all season. Letang, he's a big part of the defensive core. Evgeny Malkin really had a great season, but he's been off and on all season with injuries. And of course, Sidney Crosby has to step up to the plate, and obviously he has in a huge way this season. Next is the Calder Memorial. You've had a couple guys that really, they're not 18 years old like Nathan McKinnon, but they have had a really good year, like Andre Palat, Tyler Johnson. Another guy named Sean Monahan. Who do you guys think wins the Calder?
Again, a little bit of an obvious one, but still going with McKinnon, just because the team he was on last place last year, and now him and Landeskog and Ally together, those guys are playing amazing. He's got 65 points. Yeah, go with McKinnon.
Yeah, those guys are playing all good, the guys you mentioned, but I still think McKinnon has to win this award just based on what he's able to do with his team and how they turned around because of the addition of him to the team. He has to win that.
Yeah, same here. I think he's just all around good rookie right now, going to develop into a really good player, and yeah, just he's been playing really well with those guys on his team, and I can't wait. Maybe he can score 30 next year. Maybe.
For me, I'm going to have to go with McKinnon, but at the beginning of the year, I thought Monahan might have won because he just started off red hot and he was playing great, and then he got hurt. But, right now, it's not really a contest, even though guys like Palat, Johnson have been playing great, but right now it's McKinnon.
I wouldn't be surprised if they actually gave it to Tyler Johnson. Came out of nowhere. He set a record in Tampa Bay Lightning franchise. He's only the third or fourth Lightning to hit 20 as a rookie. I wouldn't be surprised if Johnson actually snuck in and actually took it away from McKinnon. But like you guys said, McKinnon, he's only 18 years old. He was the first overall pick, 65 points in his first season. You can't get much better than that. But at the end of the, I think if Hurdle did not get that really serious injury, we might be talking about him too right now. Thomas Hurdle on a really great team. It's a shame what happened to him. But yes, I think the overall, we got to go with Nate McKinnon on that one. Next is the Frank J. Selke, which is the best defensive player in the National Hockey League. Three guys that really stand out are Anze Kopitar, Patrice Bergeron, and of course Jonathan Toews. Who wins this award, guys?
Well, the favorite for this trophy is usually Bergeron and Datsuk and those guys like that, but I'm going to go off the board and say Kopitar. He's had a really good year, 65 points. He's a plus 30, so I'll go with Kopitar for that.
I'm going to go with Jonathan Toews because year to year, since he's been in the league, he's been a real good two-way player and an important player to his team on the penalty kill, power play, and Stanley Cup stroke. So I'm going to have to go with them.
I like that.
Yeah, for me, I'll go with Bergeron for Boston. He wins a lot of face-offs. They don't have like a superstar on that team. They just have a lot of guys who can get some points and play some really good defense too. And I think he just he's the leader in that group, and he's helping Boston again win.
For me, I'm going to have to go with Pavel Datsuk. No, not Pavel Datsuk. He's been hurt all year. Patrice Bergeron, because, he's arguably practically one of the best two-way centers in the NHL. And, he gives his team probably the best chances to win game in and game out. The way he plays when he draws that are key, and he does a good job all year round.
I'm going to have to go with Patrice Bergeron as well. He's a perfect definition of a defensive centerman. He wins every draw when he can. He's obviously an all-around guy. He's been on actually quite a hot streak for scoring. He doesn't have 30, but he's right there. He's 29 goals. And, he's really developed. He used to be a very immature player. He didn't really have a great attitude, but now he's turned into the team player. He's pretty much the leader on that team. If it's not Chara, it's definitely Bergeron. And, I got to give it to Bergeron. He plays hard, goes in the corners. He's just a great overall defensive guy. I would say Bergeron, but, it's up in the air with Toews and Kopitar. Next is the Lady Byng, which is the, what is that, the most sportsmanlike?
Yeah.
The most sportsmanlike. Who wins that award, guys?
I'll go Ryan O'Reilly. Has one penalty on the year.
That's true.
And it came like last game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go to Ryan O'Reilly for that because this award, honestly, I don't know the meaning of it. So I'm just going to go Ryan O'Reilly.
Yeah, same. I just go with O'Reilly. I think this award is just about who has the least amount of penalty minutes. That's just pretty much it.
I'd have to go with Ryan O'Reilly as well. The fact that he can practically go a whole 82-game season and get practically just like no penalties to one penalty is amazing. It's like unheard of practically. So I'm gonna have to go with Ryan.
I'm gonna say something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something different. Datsuk's won this award many times, so I'll go with Datsuk. Obviously, he's an older guy. He's very sportsmanlike. He doesn't throw tantrums like Rask. He doesn't do anything like that. He's not a bitch on the ends. But Pavel Datsuk, he's a leader. He he seems very sportsmanlike, so I'm going to give it to Pavel Datsyuk. Next award is the Vezina, which there have been a lot of goalies this year who have been playing phenomenal. Varlamov, the criminal, has the most wins. Has the most wins in the league. And you have Ben Bishop, you have Niemi, who's been all right. You have obviously Tuukka Rask. Who wins the Vezina? Best goalie in the year.
I'll say Tuukka Rask. Boston, I think they're going to finish with that President's Trophy finish. Tuukka Rask is their starting goaltender. Yeah, most shutouts in the league. I'll give it to Rask.
I'm going to give it to Ben Bishop. Steven Stamkos went down. They had St. Louis they had to rely on, but they also had to rely on Ben Bishop's play in net. And he was able to maintain a playoff spot for this team. So he deserves that for that.
Yeah, I'll go with Tuukka Rask too. He's just been playing consistently throughout the year, except for that few games I think he was on a bad slump. But he continued from what he was doing last year. He's helping Boston win again, and it just sucks to note that he was a Leafs draft pick. Could have used him this year. Oh, I know. Could have used him.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Tuukka Rask as well. He gives his team the best chances to win practically every night he's in net. Whether he gets shutouts, he just barely gets a win, or they just dominate and he wins. So I'm gonna go with Tuukka Rask.
I'm going to go with Ben Bishop as well. He's really played phenomenal all season. Like you said, Stamkos goes down with a pretty bad injury beginning of the season. They look down the bench. Ben Bishop's waving his hands. He wants to play, so he plays really well. Tampa Bay stole him with that Conacher trade. Ever since the beginning of the year, he's really stepped it up. He stepped his game up a lot, and he has one of the best save percentages in the league. I think his is a little better than Tuukka Rask. And he's played, I think, the most, in the NHL. If it's not Niemi or Fleury, it's Bishop. So I got to give it to Ben Bishop. Next up is the Bill Masterton Award. And that is awarded to the comeback player in the season. Who you guys think wins this one?
Josh Harding. That's it.
You know what? I'm going to go off the board here. Paul Ranger for coming back after a couple of years. It's a nice story. Give him the award.
Yeah, I give it to Paul Ranger. He's pretty good at the end of the season, better than what he was doing in the beginning. So, yeah, Paul Ranger.
I'm gonna have to say Steven Stamkos. After breaking his leg, he's come back, and he's also practically with Ben Bishop dragged the Tampa Bay Lightning back to the playoffs. So I'm gonna go with Steven Stamkos.
I'm going to go with Josh Harding winning it because he's had a really serious case of what's the disease called he has?
Multiple sclerosis.
Multiple sclerosis, and that's really bad. And he comes to play. He has the best save percentage in the league. Yes, he hasn't played that many games, but he just comes to play, and that's what I like about him.
Don Cherry said it earlier in the year. He's the best goalie in the league.
So, NHL officials, Ted Lindsay Award. You guys, who do you think is the best player in the National Hockey League? Sidney Crosby.
Let's go on a limb here and say Crosby.
Yeah, Crosby.
Yeah, Sidney Crosby.
Do we even have to think about that one? That's Sidney Crosby.
Okay, and to end this video, sorry it's been really long, the Norris. Who wins the Norris, guys, best defenseman?
I gotta go with Shea Weber. Without him, Nashville's useless. Not going anywhere.
Yeah, Shea Weber for me.
I would say Shea Weber too. He's been producing his best ever offensive numbers, but I think they'll go with a little bit more points. I'll go with Duncan Keith. He just gets more points than Shea, and
Some points.
I think it's 60.
Now I keep going.
So then, he just plays. He's on a better team. I think that's what will get him.
I'm gonna go with Weber. Him and his clap bombs and
Come
his
on,
lumberjack beard. He practically pulled Canada through the Olympics with Drew Doughty and a bunch of other great players. And he just brought that great play back to Nashville. And even though Nashville's horrible, he's making them look really good with 20+ goals for a defenseman. And I'm gonna pick Shea Weber.
You guys forgot one guy who's in the top 20 in scoring. Eric Carlson. I think he wins the Norris. He's been just phenomenal this season. 1 goal less than Weber, but he nonetheless 72 points as a defenseman. That is ridiculous.
If I want to play defense.
But still, I gotta give it to Carlson. He's been pretty much the 4th forward that they need.
I think though, in a couple of years, they might just pull up Brett Burns with Eric Carlson and put him on forward.
Maybe, but I gotta give it to Carlson.
Because he's just too offensive, I think, to be a defenseman.
All right. Thanks, guys, for watching. That is our 11th episode of CNGA Sports, talking about all the awards. At the end of the season, all of the awards will be picked. Hopefully, we're all right. Thanks, guys, for watching. Take it easy. Yeah, Sidney Crosby, whatever.